Hello, it's Ruby Burrito, and welcome. Today I wanted to take a look at some of the achievements that came in the new Janthir Wilds expansion, and I wanted to run through what I am considering to be the easiest achievements to obtain. The method that I took to determine what I think is the easiest is what is the most achieved achievements via Guild Wars 2 efficiency. It's a way to stack up and see how many people have done each of them, and one way to look at it is if more people have achieved it, it has to be an easier achievement, or it is something that a lot of people wanted to accomplish, for example, for mastery purposes. There are a couple sections. If you look at the story journal, we've got Janthir Wilds Act 1 and 2, and then under Janthir Wilds, we have 4 sections that provide mastery points, and those are the 4 that I looked at: Janthir, Lowland Shore, Janthir Syntri, and Janthir Side Stories. So from Guild Wars 2 efficiency, the first thing that I saw was, to be honest, the story achievements are the easiest. The Tyrian Alliance is going to be the most achieved achievement here. If we go and take a look at what that is, attend the inaugural Tyrian Alliance meeting. This is the first step. This is how you kick off the expansion. This is the most achieved achievement of all of the Janthir Wilds achievements. 19% of the player base, at least those accounts that are registered through Guild Wars 2 efficiency, have this one. Some of those are not going to be active players anymore. Some are going to be alt accounts, things like that. So the percentage itself doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it's easier to compare the percentages to each other. For example, actually the next one is going to be in the Janthir category, and that is going to be Janthir Wilds Warclaw, unlocked during the Unknown Territory chapter of the Janthir Wilds expansion. So unlocking the Warclaw is the next highest at 18.85 before we get to the Janthir Wilds Act 1 again, and that is going to be the Unknown Territory. Unknown Territory is going to be the achievement that you get for completing that first story step. That's 18.81, so just about everybody that kicked it off has achieved this as well, and this gives you the stash of carved Lowland pine coins. I'm going to skip going through the rest of the story achievements because, to me, having done most of them already, I have to go through and get a couple of them myself, as you can see, but honestly, I've achieved most of them. These are all fairly easy to get. I would suggest playing through your first time and you'll clear out most of them. I wasn't really going for achievements. I was kind of just exploring and having fun with it, and then all I have is 5. And Moonlit Reading, I just missed one of the items that I have to interact with during the Unknown Territory story step. Going to Act 2, some of these I did push for, but because I did play through some of this twice, I'm now on Mental Preparations, which is just check in with your allies before the battle for the Against the Wall story step. Those are the easiest. All you have to do is play story. I know not everybody wants to play through story to get the achievements, but it is arguably the easiest, and you get a mastery point. You get the Relic of Atrocity for this one, and that was for Act 2, and then for Act 1 you get the Relic of Sorrow and another mastery point once you finish all of those achievements. Let's dive into the achievements that are actually, I would say, a little bit more intensive, things that you actually have to focus a little bit more on in order to accomplish them. So I'm going to take a look at the top 10 here. And of course, the top is going to be back in Janthir, and that is going to be the Janthir Wilds Warclaw at the 18.85. This is from a couple days ago, so these numbers won't perfectly match up if you take a look, but it should give a good idea of what we're looking at. Second is going to be the Coden Spear Fighting. This is what is required to unlock the spear, the land spear. 18.05% of players had unlocked this. Next, Lowland Shore Social Distancing. I'm going to start searching so that I'm not taking too much time to look for it. Social Distancing. Do not spread the rot to other players when you contract it. So this is an achievement that is tied to the Bog Queen. The Bog Queen starts, and I actually just did this earlier today. There's an event right around here, which you have to protect a group of Coden that are gathering, I believe it's peat, there's a string of events that take you to the Rotting Tides, and in the Rotting Tides, the Bog Queen will spawn. Part of the mechanics for the Bog Queen fight is that she gives you the rot, and in order to complete this achievement, what you need to do is just not spread the rot to somebody else. And in order to accomplish that, you just dodge roll away or mount up, things like that. Stay away from your fellow players. It does give you a tooltip when that pops up, which makes it a little bit easier to recognize what's going on there. Number 4 is going to be Excrement Exterminator. This is an easy one. I actually got this when I was working on the story. So I'm going to actually show this one on the minimap. When you get to this section, assist the Coden in their coursing upland activities. That's at the Journeykin Outpost waypoint. There is Warclaw scat around that as part of the heart you can just pick up and put into the compost bin. And this achievement is just for picking up all of that Warclaw scat. Number 5 is going to be the Queen's Gambit. The Queen's Gambit is going to be defeating the Bog Queen, similar to the social distancing. It's part of the Bog Queen fight, and in this one, it's just simply defeating the Bog Queen, which will give you a mastery point. Number 6 is going to be Janthir Syntri Adventure. And we're looking for the Save Woodland Creatures. Here we go. So this is locate the Save Woodland Creatures adventure in Janthir Syntri. So they actually give you an achievement for finding adventures. That adventure is going to be just south of the Festering Basin waypoint. And this one in particular is just for finding the adventure. And then there's also going to be other achievements for completing that. But obviously the easiest one is just finding that adventure. Those are going to be very easy achievements to get, is running around, doing the exploration, and finding those adventures. Janthir Side Stories, A History Most Violent. This one I thought was pretty interesting. A History Most Violent Part 1. This is the 7th most achieved achievement, not story related, in all of the Janthir Wilds. And it's pretty easy to do. If you talk to Prairie Archivist Helly, and then you just kind of explore and do map completion, you'll find all of these pretty easily. Not too crazy, but now we're down to 12.43%. And actually, the previous one was also about 12.43, just a touch higher, I imagine, if we go down to that extra digit. But then the next one's going to be the Lowland Shore Diving Goggles. If we go to Lowland Shore, acquire diving goggles in Harvest Den or near the hunting village and jump into the water below. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, just along the cliffs here, there's a set of diving goggles, but this achievement will give you credit if you do either that one or the other one. So if you're looking for those specific locations, I was pretty close. The diving goggles are going to be right around here. And then the other set is going to be, if we zoom out, we can come over here, should be right about here. Either one of those, like I said, will give you the achievement. That one is going to be 12.32%. The next one is going to be the Janthir Syntri Warclaw Run, and that's going to be finding the adventure, which is going to be right around here. That one is going to be a whopping 11.56, and then again at 11.56 is going to be Build-a-Quaggan, Gather Plant Fibers. Now, what that one is, we can look up Build-a-Quaggan. So I have all of these done, but as part of Build-a-Quaggan, that's the large achievement, you have to complete the Build-a-Quaggan Gather Plant Fibers mini achievement. All you have to do, if I'm not mistaken for this one, you come over here and you have to gather some plant fibers. It's pretty straightforward. You just gather a couple of plants as you're running around that area. But that's going to be the top 10, and that's going to take us to 11.56. Now, there are a couple others that I will add as honorable mentions, just because some of those are very easy to do. And that's going to be Misttide Turner. We can search up that Misttide Turner. And what that achievement is going to be is stop the Titans from draining the Bloodstones. This is going to be part of the meta. The meta for the second map. As part of the Janthir Syntri meta, you will have to fight one of the Titans. And Once you complete that meta, you will get credit for that achievement. The next is going to be Tales of the Lowland Wisps, which again, what surprised me was how many of the side stories were in here. I've been working on these. I have one left, that's a cryptid chase. I'm at the point where now I have to do a lot of the events, but I'm just trying to find a good time to do those events. But if we're looking for the Wisps, this one was pretty interesting to complete. You meet with Stalwart Heart, and then you go, for example, search under the moon near where your journey begins. The first Wisp is underneath the moon camp covert. I think it's about right here underneath. And what you do is you interact with them, and then you follow them until they get to a point, and then you interact with a little chest that pops up. And you do that for all of the Wisps. That is going to be at number 12 with 10.69, similar to the last one. That was 10.69. And then the third that I will touch on here is going to be Lowland Shore Mulch Master. This will be the last one. And I can share a list or share links to Guild Wars 2 efficiency in the description. I think this stuff is interesting. I don't know. I really enjoy looking at how frequently people are achieving certain things. But Mulch Master, all you have to do is jump into a thing of mulch. I got this one on accident. I was actually just running around, and I was just jumping around, and there's a pile of mulch at the Journeykin outpost, and I jumped in it. Or sorry, not mulch, compost pile. As part of doing that heart that I mentioned before, picking up all the scat, I ended up jumping in the compost pile. But yeah, that's going to be all of the top 15, actually, most achieved achievements for Janthir Wilds. I would say these are the easiest to achieve. That's why more than 10% of the people on Guild Wars 2 efficiency already have these. If you don't, hopefully this would have helped you to achieve them. I'm going to be doing another video where I dive into the 10 least achieved achievements. And for example, I do know that one of them is most likely going to be the one that I don't have. I'm missing it here. Janthir Treasure Hunter. This is one that very few people already have. About only 8,000 people have gotten this one. So we'll touch on that in the next video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have anything that you, any suggestions, any thoughts about the achievements in Janthir Wilds, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you've been enjoying the content, and we will see you in the next one.